Hey folks, Chris Waters here, live at Infinity Ward for a Call of Duty Ghosts Onslaught live stream. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to be here. Joining me is Joe Seacott, lead multiplayer designer for the Onslaught DLC, and Tina Palacios, senior community manager here at Infinity Ward. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
How's
I'm
it
in
going?
your office.
I know, it's crazy, right?
We're gonna talk about some Onslaught. We got a bunch of stations set up here in the back to play. But before we do it, let's tell the folks what we're doing today. Joe, we're checking out some maps. You spent a lot of time on these.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun making these maps. You can tell by the different themes that we went away from our standard modern military. We went a little spooky
Let's get a
and
little spooky with it, yeah.
space and we had it's really cool.
The cool thing about doing DLC is we can sort of step back and just have more fun with it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we have crazy maps like Fog.
I mean, you guys clearly have fun with Ghosts. There's a lot of stuff in there that sort of exudes that. But yeah, with this Onslaught DLC, it's broadening the scope a little bit. This Fog map with the someone was running around with a Michael Myers mask on earlier.
He may be on later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Stay tuned. We may see some Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And stay tuned. Also, we're going to be giving away codes for Onslaught DLC for the. No, actually, Joe, I want to talk about this. The wolf skin.
Yeah. You can call in. We had the Riley kill streak, the German Shepherd.
Yep.
And we had a wolf from single player that we really liked. It was really really mean looking.
Kind of frightening.
Yeah.
Riley has a little bit of cuteness.
Yeah,
to it,
yeah.
You go in for a ruffle of ears.
So we wanted
wolf, not so much.
We wanted to let people call on the wolf and let him go after people, and it's really scary.
Mm-hmm. And so we're giving away those codes so you can get a wolf of your very own, as well as season passes to the whole 4-part DLC that's coming out. This is just the first. And we're going to be talking about the different stages as we get into the Extinction map later on, because it's part 1 of a 4-part sort of narrative arc you guys are doing.
Yeah.
As well. Cool. Well, so Tina, it's been out for a couple days now on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. How are folks taking to it?
I'm so happy that they love it. We've been getting nothing but positive feedback. The other day we did our first dev game night, so we invited a bunch of the community to play with us, and Joe was there.
Yeah.
And we're like the 2 snipers in the office. So we did snipers only. We sort of tortured the guys, but I think we had a lot of fun.
No, there were some really good guys. Yeah. They tortured us.
Yeah, how does that work? You guys obviously play this game a lot, but there are people out there who play this game way more than you.
Yeah. We run into those people. There's people who are just naturally good that just mop the floor with us before they even know the map. They're so good.
I'm really heartened to hear that happens to you guys too, because when we at GameSpot do these streams and we're playing, it doesn't always go well.
Yeah.
So at least it happens to you guys too as well. Well, let's take a look at this map we're seeing here. This is actually not. Is this one of the? This is
BayView.
BayView map, and this is made me think of you guys are based here right outside LA, and it made me think of the Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. It takes place on a California coastline. We didn't specify what city exactly, but it's not dangerous to say that it's inspired by Santa Monica.
Sure, but there's also a cable car in here, right? So there's a little bit of San Francisco flavor or something going on there. So I guess let's, while we watch BayView in action here, let's talk about generally, we talked about you want to have a little more fun with these maps, but in terms of the actual design, the size, what kind of play style you're hoping to encourage, what were you guys going for with BayView here?
BayView is more of a traditional 3-lane map. We had a lot of community outreach to us about our maps, and we had a lot of variety in the game. But the community really wanted the faster pace, smaller, and so this one's more of a symmetrical. It's got 2 nice sniper points that counteract each other, and it's got the trolley, so we're having fun. People hop on that or throw IEDs on that, but it's your pretty standard, clean, fun, fast map.
Yeah.
Now the trolley seems like it moves back and forth.
Yeah.
That seems like a place that you really want to go check it out because it's the new thing, but also people just be looking to shoot you there.
Well, when we were in our game night with the community, all of those guys said oh, let's get to it, let's take it over, and then we were playing on the same team, so I threw a couple IEDs on it, and we just kind of sat back.
Just watched everybody.
Waiting for them to come out.
Go check it out.
Yeah. Whoever is repping me right now, they better not destroy the honor of using the Tina clan tag. Oh, they just got shot.
I don't know if that's going to work well for. Well, actually, we're going to send you over there so you can get in there and play in just a minute here, Tina. Maybe at the end of the match you can go hop over there. But what the gun we're seeing now, is this also the new?
No. This is a marksman rifle.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going back to the Maverick.
Yeah, he was rocking the
Maverick.
Maverick.
This is another big addition here in Onslaught. It's the only new weapon you guys have brought out for it. Give us a little overview of what it's all about.
So it's two weapons essentially. There's an AR version, and then there's a sniper version. We've never done a sniper rifle before, but it's kind of a niche thing. There's a small group of players that really like to snipe, and so we wanted, we enjoy it too. And so we wanted to give you like a standard, really good quality assault rifle, and then we also wanted to have an addition. We wanted one of our artists he'll be on later, right? Sean. Did a kick-ass concept of an AR sniper rifle mod, and we just ran with it.
Yeah, he really loved the MTS shotgun that we had because it had a wood stock barrel.
Yeah.
And we sort of loved the like metal and wood looks, so that's what he was going for the Maverick. And he also just loved the idea of just toying with your gun, so you can switch it from from an assault rifle to a sniper rifle. So that's where the design really kicked in. But it's fun to use because it has its own custom tracker sight, right?
Yeah, it's got a unique sniper, something we haven't done before. We took some of the functionality from our tracker scope, which outlines enemies, and we put it on a sniper rifle because it has this like super teched out kind of looking sniper and barrel.
Slick,
it's really, really nice.
It's really neat. But just to clarify, we were talking about this earlier. You can't actually it's two different models of the same gun. You can't switch mid-match.
No,
it's not like press right on the D-pad and now you got your sniper rifle scope thing. It's you put it in a separate loadout. You can have them both going.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm curious, why make it the same? Why make it variants of one gun as opposed to two separate ones?
Oh, we had planned to release a gun, and we were like, okay, we're gonna have a gun, and AR is most used class, so we're gonna go with the AR. But it was kind of a thing what can we do to give more, right?
Yeah.
We have this gun, we built this gun, how can we make it even better, make the DLC pack even better?
Yeah, make it something that kind of gives people something different to work with, sort of enriches that experience. Very cool. Folks, I'm going to remind you that we are giving away codes for Onslaught DLC, the Wolf Skin, and also Season Passes. The way to win these codes, which I realize I haven't mentioned yet, is to tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught, and then we'll pick winners from those. Also, if you tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught, you can ask these guys questions. I've got a computer here. I'm relaying them to them, and I'll grab one right now.
As Captain Price's nose is behind you over your shoulder.
Oh, is Captain Price back there?
Yeah.
I don't know if can you see this dude? There's a giant Captain Price behind me, and you can kind of see his eyes, but if his eyes always follow you, he looks a little disappointed in you. I don't know if that's just me, but when you guys walk through here, do you kind of feel him?
It's just you.
Yeah, it's just me. All right, we got a question on Twitter from James176 wondering, what are both of your favorite game modes?
Oh man, well I know,
Gun game.
Gun game.
Yeah, we just added it. We just added it back, and that's when I go home. That's all I want to play.
That's your jam.
Yeah.
So gun game, I mean, it's been a classic in various incarnations for years. You guys bringing it into Ghosts. What kind of spin did you? Obviously you've probably played it before. You brought it into Ghosts. What did you want to do for it to make it a Ghosts thing?
Make it our own.
Yeah, we made it so the weapons actually randomly generate what attachments you're going to get to keep it fresh.
Oh, okay.
In the past, gun games generally been kind of like naked weapons without that stuff, and so we have that. That's really cool. And then it's our own personal twist because we have different weapons than the other games. So the weapons you run into, comes from that.
All right, we got gun game from Joe. What about you, Tina?
I love domination, but I've been playing a lot of gun game too, just because I like to grief a lot, so I want to stab people to de-rank them. That's the thing I try to do the most.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you go over there and do some griefing yourself. I think we've got Dave Mickner, a multiplayer designer, to come on here and do some chatting. Tina, we're going to be checking in with you as you are sitting right back there.
Yeah.
And hopefully seeing some Mike Myers murders in a little bit.
These guys.
All right, Joe. So talking about BayView here, this is it's not quite sunny, but it's light outside. This is, you guys have really there's a very difference in tone between these four matches.
Yeah.
So what do you like about BayView yourself?
I like the predictability. It's kind of because it's that 3-lane, because it makes for very fair matches, and because it's fairly porous, you can get from wherever you want to get to, you can. So you can hold off lanes, but you still can quickly get to whatever flag you need to get to. It doesn't feel like B is way farther than A or something like that. It's very balanced.
It all feels within reach.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got Dave Mickner joining us. Dave, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, so glad you're here, man. Let's talk about BayView right now. You just heard Joe sort of talk about that 3-lane stuff. You guys are, with these 4 maps seemingly moving back toward, or focusing on smaller combat, that kind of more traditional Call of Duty pace. How has that been to sort of to design back towards that for this DLC?
It's been a lot of fun. One of the things that, it's fun about DLC is you can kind of do whatever you want with it. You can go away from the normal play space and kind of get a little more creative, and also, we can take some of the feedback from fans and kind of implement that into our new design. So
yeah, I imagine you guys have a pretty vocal fan base.
Oh yeah,
we do. Yeah.
And so they were sort of clamoring for this more traditional 3-lane map.
Yeah.
But it's fun to get back into that. But how did you guys keep it? So here we see the cart. Does it only move when someone is on it?
No, it pings back and forth, so it'll keep going to each side.
Okay.
Over and over.
So do you go for the cart, Dave?
The trolley, as we like to call it. I love to just dive on it, go prone, and then when no one thinks I'm on it, pop up and just get some kills.
Is it a kind of thing where it's so obvious that someone be on that, no one would go on that. It's putting a target on your face, but you sort of do a reverse psychology thing.
I like when they come to me, so bring the pain. I'm gonna bring it back.
Excellent. So you got the dynamic element here, the trolley, of course. What other distinctive stuff that you guys sort of brought in here besides that giant humpback whale? Which I just saw hanging in the aquarium.
This map specifically has a field order for naval destroyers that will assault. So if someone gets the field order, there's ships out in the bay that actually fire and launch. And attack the play space.
Can you designate where it's going to hit? Or
No,
is it just
it's an anti your enemy basically. So
anti everyone else
yes.
weapon. Yeah. I'm really good at using those.
Yes, yes, there.
Getting them, maybe not so much. All right, so we've got, Dave, are you more sort of level design, or do you also work on weapon design, or are those things not really segregated here?
I mean, one of the things that's great about our multiplayer team is we're all kind of together. So, when a level designer has an idea for a map, and say Joe's working on a new weapon, we can kind of think about how we want that weapon to play in that map space, in terms of distances, engagements, things like that. So it is all kind of integrated.
We have people who we do have there's builders, there's scripters, but it's constant feedback. It's constantly going back and forth, and so Dave and I are specifically scripters.
All right. So what is a scripter?
Okay.
Come on.
So
right.
it can be many things. Like scripters can do UI, like menu stuff. Scripters can do level scripts, like the kill streaks that you see. What else do game modes? Sometimes scripting, like weapons require scripting. Some of ours. So we have a very robust scripting system that we use that gives us as designers kind of like free reign. Like we have so much prototyping ability.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
And that was sort of echoes something you and Tina were saying earlier about when you're on sort of that main development thrust to launch the full main game. That's a different tone than when you're working on DLC. You were saying earlier, Dave, you can kind of play around a little bit. So. But also, it's like late January. The game hasn't been out for that many months. You guys still have to go at a pretty brisk pace to get the DLC out. But is there still room to script this weird thing and just have some people come sit down and try it out? How often are you guys testing that stuff?
We're constantly doing things like that. We're taking feedback into account. So there's patchwork, which something I'll do is help out a little more in patchwork while Joe is hooking up the new weapon and going crazy with that. But there's always new things that we're trying out, and some things we can't talk about.
Yeah,
because you guys have 3 more DLC packs in line,
yeah.
And is there stuff that sort of hits the cutting room floor, or stuff that is maybe let's get to that a little bit later, put it in the maybe pile?
Yeah. We have maps that work that way too. Maps can come in and out of rotation. That one's not working, get it out, get something in. Okay, that's working, cool, we have our 4 for DLC. Okay, let's try this one again. Maps, they can have a really short, Fog actually went really fast. Fog, the builder, or Kyle made it. It worked out. We liked it. It went to art, and it was everything was working. Then there's other maps that
clicks. That must be a good feeling.
Yeah, and then other maps just take a little bit more iteration. It could be months and months before that map actually is all right, this is where we want it.
So maybe you're aiming to launch 4 new multiplayer-specific maps. Maybe you're working on 6, 7, 8 during the process, depending on how it's going.
Yeah, lots. We have one of our builders. He's always working on different maps, so we kind of joke with him because he's got like 5, 6 maps of his own that he's kind of like, I like this, I like this. Yeah.
A lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're onto a new map now. Dave, I'm going to have you give us a little brief overview of this. I think, Joe, maybe we're going to send you off, and we're going to get John Dobby on here, senior environment artist. Is John in the house? John, come on over here, man. Joe, thanks so much
for
having me here, and thanks for chatting.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to have to do a mic swap real quick.
Oh, okay.
Dave, let's talk about, the host end of the game. All right, so, I guess we're probably going on to Fog right now. But Dave, before we go on to that one, why don't you, tell us a little bit about, like, how did you come to become a multiplayer designer here?
That's actually a pretty interesting story. I moved out to California about 5 years ago with the idea of getting into the game industry. I grew up playing them. That's all I wanted to do my entire life.
Did you have like technical skills coming into it?
Not at first.
Oh, really?
So what I did was I applied for QA jobs originally. I landed a job with 2K Games doing QA work on multiple projects, sports titles, things like that.
Sure.
Some first-person shooters. And then that's what led me to get a job at IW for Modern Warfare 3. And then I became a full-time QA employee here and started working on programming and other things like that to eventually become a scripter. Oh.
Hey, Tina. Hey, how's it going over there, you guys? You gonna play a video game or what? What's going on?
Yeah, we're setting up our classes.
Oh, all right. We're getting their classes set up. Well, we're getting the scoop from Dave on, like, you can totally just move to California and get into video games.
Really, it's all about having that drive and that passion. Everyone that I work with here, they've just got so much passion for what they do, and everyone just helps each other out. Especially like Joe, who we just met. He is pretty much a mentor for me in terms of helping me, out and making me a better scripter.
Develop your skills, work on your career path, that kind of stuff. That's very good. It's cool to have that kind of working environment, and I think that kind of stuff shows in the end product. Let's get John on here. Now, are you mic'd up, John?
Yep.
Let's welcome John to the set, folks. John's a senior environment artist here, and
Good to see you.
good to see you too. I think these guys are gonna jump into Fog, and this
Cool.
map is kind of your baby.
Yeah, a little bit. Our
little
teams,
bit.
yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, Dave and Joe were just saying it. It clicked. It went through the design process really smoothly.
Yeah.
So, I guess how did it sort of start out?
Well, the map actually it was a swamp in New Orleans BayView, and when we looked at it, I was like, this has the opportunity to be like Camp Crystal Lake, Evil Dead vibe, and a chance to do something
And
horror. Yeah, I'm like,
creepy
yeah,
in here.
exactly, like do something fun, and yeah, we were all on board, and it's just like the team got together and brainstormed how many cool little horror homages we could cram into one map, and
Do you guys still have that whiteboard up somewhere with just like horror movie after horror movie listed up?
yeah, in the back.
All right, so here we are in Fog. Obviously, the eponymous Fog is sitting down on this creepy little town. But Tina's going to give us a little tour here through, and we're going to try to spot some of the Easter eggs and little homages that you guys.
So this is like the shed from Evil Dead homage. So it's got Ash's chainsaw is missing there. That's this Ash's girlfriend's head used to be there, but it's rotted away, and all that's left is a skull.
Charming.
On the ground, there's a little hole. You can see a dead dog. That's from the new Evil Dead remake. She's already out. She's gone.
And
So
now she's on to the next thing. You got the creepy trailer.
yeah, this is kind of an homage to, I think it's Friday the 13th and New Blood or Jason Lives, but I remember like Dudley from Different Strokes would always go visit his brother who's sleeping in the trailer.
So you guys didn't just go for like the original in the series.
No,
you
this-
were like
this-
the whole any horror movie, fair game,
Yeah.
anywhere along the line.
And that car was actually Ash's car, which is Sam Raimi's car, the director. He's put it in every movie except The Quick and the Dead.
Oh, really?
So we had to get that in there.
Of course, you got to get that in there. Yeah. Now this, it's not just about sort of visual, environmental design Easter eggs. There's also some stuff that creeps into gameplay as well.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Michael Myers.
Michael Myers,
Let's
that's
talk
right.
about Michael Myers.
Let's talk about Michael Myers. Yeah, that is an awesome thing we got for this map.
I wonder how many people have noticed the Michael Myers is
in the background. Actually, I kind of made a story here. See, someone has sacrificed the goat in order
there's sort of an altar there.
Yeah, and I think in this house you can see that there is, like in the Evil Dead, there's a tape that some pages were read from the Necronomicon. And,
Never a good idea.
Exactly. Someone took him to the cave. Oh my gosh, that's in here somewhere.
Oh, also this poster we're totally giving away.
Awesome.
And there's the creepy mask though. No, that you don't want any part of that. So you were saying about you have this like little lore.
Yeah.
Here.
So someone has taken pages from the Necronomicon, made a seance there, sacrificed the goat, and a juggernaut with Michael Myers will come from the sky.
Lo and behold.
If everything lines up properly.
And you can actually, that can come from the sky, but so Tina's picked up the field orders here.
Oh, awesome.
And,
I hear the music.
Someone's got him.
I hear the music.
Oh, the music? All right, well, I guess
That's one of the awesome things about this map is like when you hear the music, the iconic John Carpenter score.
Oh, God.
It's like, ah! Yeah, that's...
So, what is the actual the player who is Michael Myers right now? What are they equipped with? What are they doing? What are their perks?
An axe is all you need.
Just an axe around.
An axe and speed. It's Michael Myers. He used to run slow, but in this map, he's got some juice.
Yeah. I feel that whole sort of slow, inexorable. I'm coming for you. Maybe needs to be adapted for the frenetic multiplayer.
He's a 28 Days Later Michael Myers.
There you go. He's got a little bit more speed in him, like those terrifying zombies.
See, earlier Tina was in the ring. We have a ring room, ring cabin.
The TV,
yeah, the TV, the tape.
Yeah.
What else is there? There's the Evil Dead busted bridge. A lot of cool things.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has been sort of a theme folks have talked about, the kind of fun you guys are having with this DLC. So, Fog, this is obviously, a horror-themed one. Did you bandy about any other kind of theme ideas that were this far along? And if you did, I mean, can you talk about them? I guess that's a real question.
Well, that's the thing is some of those they're maybe used for a later time. That's what happens.
Maybe used for a later time?
On the whiteboard.
Yeah. Well, there's your answer.
There's more things to come. Oh my gosh.
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. That actually answers Brandon Blizzard's question over Twitter. Folks, of course, a quick reminder, we're giving away, courtesy of the generous folks here at Infinity Ward, season passes to Ghosts, Onslaught DLC, as well as the wolf skin for your Riley the Dog kill streak reward. Just tweet to @GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. You can send a question along and I'll ask the guys, or you can just tweet and be entered to win. Looking through here, we have a question from Wall Train for both you guys, Dave and John. Sorry. What's something that you still really want to put into a map? Some out there idea, like, wouldn't it be cool if this was in there, but maybe it's not plausible, maybe it's not feasible, maybe the opportunity passed you by. Just some pie in the sky thing.
Honestly, that list is too long.
It's really long?
I'm kind of like, yeah. I mean, that's all. We're always just trying to come up with new big ideas to put in, and it's just like, can we get it to work? Can we, is it feasible? Offhand, I can't really actually think because I know some really cool stuff that's coming up.
You want to hang on to.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then again, the stuff that I mean,
your out there ideas. You want to hang on to.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What a crappy answer.
That's
but,
fair. No,
yeah.
You're not. What about you, Dave?
For me, maybe sharks.
Sharks.
Maybe with lasers.
Not just the golden statue shark we saw there on BayView, but sharks with lasers. All right. Yeah. I mean that would be out there. I like it though. I like it. All right, guys. Well, we've got two more folks, senior video effects artists, queued up to come on here and sit and chat. So I want to thank you guys for coming on here, taking some questions and chatting.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're going to do a mic switch right here, folks, as you guys head off. And again, totally giving away stuff. Tweet @GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. You can win season passes for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 3. You can win Onslaught. I'm sorry, the Michael Myers dude is still walking around. It's creeping me right out. Onslaught DLC codes for Xbox One or Xbox 360, because of course that's the only platform it's currently available on. It's coming to the other ones soonish. And then also giving away the Wolf Micros DLC, the Wolf skin for your Riley kill streak for Xbox One and Xbox 360. Just tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. You can totally win. Let's take a look at what's going on here now in Fog. As Tina, how are you doing over there? How's the match going for you?
SATCOM uplink enabled.
All right, looks like Tina's bike's off. She said she's trying to explore the map for us. Very generous of you, Tina. And also, you know, not do terribly. It's tough to do both. I feel your pain, Tina. And actually, these bats, I think we're going to be able to talk with one of the VFX artists momentarily. We've got Attila and Alessandro coming on. Why don't you guys come on over here and have a seat in the old red chairs here. Attila, we met earlier. Good to see you again. Alessandro, hey. Chris, welcome to the set here. So you guys are both FX artists for Call of Duty Ghosts. You know, when I think of movies, FX, I can picture what a visual effects are. What falls under your purview when it comes to games? I mean, it's not just the whole thing. It's some specific things. Like what?
What we've been done here for Call of Duty Ghosts, this is our first Call of Duty. So coming from film, it's been pretty much the same. We have been coming from film, we have been doing destruction, explosion, volumetric effects. So we have been doing pretty much the same things. The only difference has been the limitation of the real-time engine. So we had to kind of scale back a little bit. And
oh, yeah.
It's like painting with a big brush. So try to fit the correct pieces with the right motion, with the right amount, in the possible of the limit of the 3D, and try to make it look like a Hollywood blockbuster effects.
So that's a challenge, right? You have to sort of alter your workflow, experiment with new tools. Do you find it sort of forces you to be creative in different ways?
Yeah, we have to create a lot of cheats. So we're still creating simulations, and we do it in movies, but we still have to bake it out into texture files or other ways that the game engine is able to process the data.
And yeah, because it's, you know, in a game, people are seeing this thing from all different points of view. It's happening at dynamic points throughout the level. So, for example, here on Fog, what kind of stuff would you guys have worked on to bring this map to life?
Please.
Well, it was your baby. So
we started with this idea of this Michael Myers big kill streak, and everything around it has been built in this kind of spooky horror movies map. So my main challenge as an FX artist has been to create all those atmospheric effects to make it look more spooky than what it is without it. So those tiny bank of mist, those fog all around, and all the lights, they have this kind of glowy volumetric effects, which has this tiny layer of fog coming through, so everything feels and look like everything is moving a little bit, but not too much. And plus, during the bigger kill streak of Mike Myers, I've been doing this every victim that got hit. Crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, have you seen this Michael Myers dude running around?
Yeah, not sure if it's this.
This is just like a normal Friday in the office.
Pretty much. It's like being into the map. So I've been taking care of these effects when Michael Myers is killing somebody. This victim is losing his soul in a kind of smoky effects, stylish things. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we've been working on things that we don't do way often. It's been like a very special map for us.
Very cool. And Alessandro, sorry, Attila, you were saying earlier you worked a lot on the creatures here on Fog.
Yeah, since it's a haunted environment with very spooky houses and lakes and ponds and little caves, we tried to create a couple animals that would add to the feel of the environment. So we created, you have to discover it in the map, but we created frogs, owls, spiders, and crocodile.
That's a pretty good roster of animals that would make a swamp place creepy. You know, you've got like the hoot of owls, something moving in the water.
Yeah. So basically, with a particle approach, we generated little effects animals. They are not just on cards; they are actually objects. And so if you walk up to the pond, then you're going to see little frogs jumping in the water and creating a splash. And you're going to see owls flying off the roof and spiders pop in front of you.
Are you ever going to run into trouble with any alligators?
No, and you can't really interact with them, so you can't shoot at them.
More the atmosphere.
And we are still alive here telling the story, so everything went well.
Everything worked out all right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had said you both have come from movies into games as a VFX artist.
True.
Yes.
And so, we talked about one of the limitations that you kind of have to deal with in terms of the processing, but is there anything that is new or fun about games as different from movies that you are enjoying?
For me personally, the interactivity of the games, it kind of add that extra level that film will never have. Oh my God.
I don't understand why you guys even work here. I mean, they probably pay you well, and working on a video game is cool, but that is no.
It's gross.
No, thank you. They also get free pizza.
Yeah.
I guess that tips the scales. Sorry, Alessandro, you were saying the interactivity of
The
video?
interactivity is adding that extra level of love that film will never be able to actually give to the audience. So we are able to see our effects from different angle and a different time, and the story kind of make always different and fit in a different way every time you play it. So beside the limitation that within the next generation they always get smaller and smaller and smaller, the fun we get out of it at the end of our work is actually way more. So it was a good transition, actually. I'm pretty happy.
Sounds like
In movies, usually you work with one camera angle, and you tweak the shot for months until you get it right for that camera angle. But in games, you have to look at it from different camera angles, and it has to work. But you get it, you put it in the level, and you can see it right away. You don't have to wait for the compers to finish the shot. So it's really fun to actually see your work really quick. Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. And so you get that immediate feedback. Have you guys also gotten any sort of part of the community feedback that you guys get for Call of Duty Ghosts?
We did. It's quite impressive actually how much we get back from all the community. Like we never worked with something on a project that has such a big response outside our office from everybody.
Yeah.
So every time we are publishing something or we do something, we always get an immediate feedback from everybody. So that's gratifying a lot.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking about this with us. Attila,
Thank you.
Alessandro.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Cheers. We're going to get Sean up here, who's one of the weapons artists here at Infinity Ward. I think we're probably going to be talking about the Maverick, but, other weapons too. Just wanted to remind you folks, tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught, and you could win season passes for Call of Duty Ghosts. You could win Onslaught DLC codes, or you could win a little wolf skin for your Riley killstreak to turn it from lovable German Shepherd into terrifying feral beast. Who doesn't want that? I do. We're also taking questions via Twitter, so your tweet can include a question, and I'm looking through them here. Once we get some folks up here, we can talk to them about various questions, and we're going to look here at Tina, who is... How you doing over there? How's it coming?
I'm trying to noob tube somebody. Oh, I got them.
Oh, we're playing some gun game, I see.
Yeah.
That didn't go so well for you.
But I'm in first. I'm in first. Yeah.
You're number one. Keep it up. Shoot that guy. All right, Sean Byers.
How's it going?
Welcome. It's going well. It's been so fun to talk to people from different team here, and you yourself are a weapons artist.
I am.
So you have designed, you worked on all the weapons in Ghosts, and specifically for Onslaught, the Maverick.
Yeah, I didn't work on all the weapons on Ghost. We have a team. There's 4 of us.
It's not just one guy coming up with all the weapons.
No,
I don't
it's
understand
like
that.
50 something guns. But yeah, I don't have to design the majority of the guns in the game because a lot of them exist in real life. So, but for the Maverick, that was a gun that was designed in-house, and it's made up and was made to look real.
And that must be kind of fun for you, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Obviously there's a challenge and satisfaction in taking something from real life and crafting it lovingly into the game, but making something up, that's really cool.
I mean, a lot of other studios do that stuff. You play like Halo and other stuff like that, but Infinity Ward, we've never really made up a weapon before because, Modern Warfare series is very realistic and stuff. Yeah. Not saying our game is not, but that was the challenge of this weapon for the Maverick, was to make something that looks real, feels good, plays well, and it's fiction. So it was tons of fun making it.
So we talked about it a little bit earlier, but you have actually designed, and people can get sort of a glimpse of it, on the site or on this giant poster behind us here, which actually, I forgot to mention, we're giving away this poster. It's going to be actually a separate one. It's going to be signed and drawn on by all the folks here at Infinity Ward. That's sort of the grand prize, the big excitement. So you can also enter to win that by tweeting at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. So there it is. You see the Maverick right here? The AR and sniper rifle.
There we go.
That's the AR version
Right.
in that picture right there. So how do the two differ? Like when you're designing two different versions of the same weapon, how do you make it look like the same but also different? It seems challenging.
Right. So when I first started the design, it was make an assault rifle, make it look real. So I took like an old school vibe with the wooden stock, wooden foregrip, lots of metal, some tactical pieces on it, and stuff like that. And then it was like, how could a gun like this be converted into a sniper rifle? So just thought of making the sniper portion of the weapon look very technical, look very little bit sci-fi, but still grounded and realistic. So I took pieces of real scopes and kind of mashed them together with scopes or just like designs that aren't realistic, and then just made it gaudy and big. And that's what was really fun about the design. I wanted to make just this big kind of cube that you're walking around with in first person.
It's a big honking sight, but
Yeah.
it also, if you're going to be sniping in a fast-paced map and like these small ones here in Onslaught, it helps to have a bigger window.
Absolutely,
Of course. I got some questions for you coming from Twitter. Jeffrey Mann is wondering, what is one of your favorite guns that you've ever been a part of designing?
Oh, designing? This one for sure.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just old and new, and it's all Hollywooded out, and it's big, and it's kind of it's a little gaudy. So it was really fun to make that. The Space ARX too. I don't know if you guys played Loki. That was the first gun where I got to have a little bit more freedom in making it look like it was part of like a NASA mission or something like that. So that was actually a lot of fun. So maybe the Space ARX too.
So have you been a weapon artist on games before Ghosts?
Yes. Well, kind of. I did. I worked for Sony, and I worked for a small studio called Nihilistic Software, and we did Resistance: Burning Skies, and I got to do some.
Sure, the Vita title.
Yeah, the Vita, and I did like the majority of the weapons on that game, and that's kind of how I got into doing that hard surface work. So that's what got me here.
There was like a combo crossbow shotgun in that game.
Yeah.
That one was really cool.
That was that was a lot of fun to make. I spent a lot of time on that one. That was fun.
I really enjoyed that one. All right, we also are curious. Was it your choice to give the Maverick a wood finish? It sounds like it was. It sounds like that was part of the design process. Yeah.
Absolutely. Ruben and I were talking one day, and we were saying like, oh, the MTS shotgun's really cool. I like the old school vibe with the new school look, with the tactical gear on it. And I just took that into designing the assault rifle for this weapon because more people use assault rifles. So like, how do we get that old school vibe with the new school feel in it? Yeah, definitely. The wood is kind of the cornerstone of the whole design. The whole shape language of the weapon is based on that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this, if you mentioned other games that everyone sort of has to make up guns all the time. Sorry, I'm a little distracted.
That's all right.
At this moment.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Somebody crouching behind you, and it's creeping me out. This Michael Myers thing is. Hope you folks are enjoying it. I like it. If you could design sort of a fictional arsenal yourself for a game, something like that, would you prefer futuristic or that sort of retro feel, or what kind of blend would be your dream aesthetic? I'm just gonna move a little bit away from you. It's nothing personal.
Hey, could you get my shoulders like right here?
Oh, there we go.
That's good. That's nice.
Actually, an HR representative the whole time.
That's real good. Now I can talk. No. So what was the question? Just
I don't know. In terms of weapons artistry, what would your like dream arsenal be to build out?
definitely a little bit more sci-fi looking, but still grounded and realistic. I try when I design things to make them look real, and this feels really good, but somewhat grounded and gritty and realistic, and parts moving, but very mechanical. But I definitely have a liking to the sci-fi vibe for sure.
So what brought you into sort of the designing weapons specifically?
I don't know. It's just when I first got into it, no one was doing it at the other studio, so I was like, hey, I'll just give this a shot. I like the idea of doing the weapons because they're on screen all the time, and it's hard work. You have to pay attention to minute details, like little scratches, doing the metal right, things like that. And I wanted the challenge because I came from environment art, and I just wanted to grow as an artist and weapons and stuff. And they just look awesome. Like there's just something really cool about an M4, an M16, or a rocket launcher that I always just wanted to make.
Neat. Peter Lasani from Twitter has got a question for you. What's the hardest part of a weapon you've designed? Like one of the toughest sort of challenges?
Keeping it realistic. I mean, it's easy to go off the deep end and have something not look right. If I'm looking online or looking at other people's work and stuff, you want to make sure that it looks like your hand will fit in there and grab the grip correctly. Will it be comfortable? How does it reload? Are the mechanics in the right positions and stuff like that? I spend a lot of time making sure that those things are right and they're thought out, because if you break that, then it's like, oh, that's just a made-up gun that, whatever. It looks cool, but it couldn't
His
work.
hand would never fit there. That doesn't even make any sense.
Or it's not thick enough and it could break, and military stuff needs to be very reliable and work for a long time.
So what kind of resources do you consult for that kind of thing? I mean, military resources, gun manufacturers, that kind of stuff?
Absolutely, stuff like that. I actually look at a lot of anime stuff. The Japanese artists are very, very line drawn, very thought out, very mechanical. That stuff's great inspiration. There's so many great artists out there that you can pull from, but lots of things, like even just looking at Apple products and stuff like that, you can learn a lot from just great design and shape language.
Industrial design.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, we got another question from Brandon Blizzard, wondering about any kind of gun design or speculation that just ended up being too ridiculous, too out there, too sort of impractical to make it in or to be viable.
No, not this game. I mean, I did a couple designs that were pretty dorky looking, for sure. I don't know how to describe them. You'd have to see them and you'd be like, Sean, no good. So there's definitely a process of, here's this idea, have other people look at it. Definitely a lot of feedback from other departments, because they can help you see things that you don't see, because you can just have your head down and be drawing and you think it's rad, and then you show it to other people and they're like, dude, you're crazy. So
feedback is always an important part.
Absolutely.
Of any job.
Absolutely.
And here we see Tina using the Maverick with that big boxy scope.
Yeah.
Which gives you that handy outline, which I think is really helpful to totally miss that shot.
Yeah, she's not very good at that weapon.
Oh, just when we were talking about you too. I had another question about the Maverick. It's totally gone out of my mind now. Nuts. Willem on Twitter is wondering what gave you the idea for the iron sights.
Wanted something
on the Maverick in the AR version, because they're a little unusual.
Yeah, they're definitely open. I use a red dot. I know a lot of people use a red dot, and it was kind of like, how do we get something that feels comfortable as a red dot, but as the iron sight? So maybe you can have another attachment or something like that. So I just made them open, and I gave a little thing sticking up in the front to align your target, and it just felt great. And part of it was luck, and part of it was thinking about it beforehand, and it turned out real nice. I'm real happy with those iron sights.
Cool. One more question before we let you go here. You designed a gun. You've got the wood grain. You've got the looks totally, like keyed in, and then someone comes along and puts bright pink camouflage on it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about all the different
Love
weapon
it.
skins coming into your design?
Yeah, no, I love that. Was my idea to put the pink in there. I like the pink. It's fun. So you know what I mean? You have like a 3.5 KD, and then you're running around with pink camo, wrecking people. So
it's nice that you guys, along with the sort of realistic, you want it to be, seem like an authentic weapon. You can also have some fun with it.
Absolutely, that's the fun part of our job, is doing things like that.
Very cool, Sean.
Well,
Thanks so much for coming
Thank you very
on
much
here.
for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to call up here Dave Rowe. We got senior sound designer somewhere around here. We're going to get a microphone on him.
Dave's cool.
And he's going to come on over.
Thank you.
Cheers, Sean. Folks, while we watch Tina Secure C, reminder, tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. We've got a ton of codes for Onslaught DLC on the Xbox 360 and Xbox One. A ton of codes for the Wolf Micro DLC that'll turn your Riley kill streak into a wolf. And a bunch of season pass codes, not just for the Xbox One and 360, but also for the PS3 and the PS4. So get those tweets coming to at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. And now joining me here is Dave Rowe. Dave. It's going good, man.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. You're senior sound designer.
Yes.
And so we've been hearing the sound, coming from the DLC maps here. What is sort of the scope of sound design in the game? I mean, it's obviously anything from gunshots to explosions to ambient noises.
Basically, anything that goes into the game will require a sound. Anything that you see visually needs an audible portion with it. So we cover everything from the location that you're in, ambience-wise, to three-dimensional emitters all around you, so things going off. We also have things that react to explosions and stuff like that. So things will shake around you when there's an explosion nearby and things like that. All the weapons, obviously, all the player Foley running and jumping and all that stuff,
It's always seemed to me that sound design, more than any sort of part of game design, really can very easily just cascade into just so much work, many things to consider, so many factors. Because each one, a new gun comes in, you don't have to just make the sound of that firing, but you have to make the sound of that firing inside an airplane, outside ricocheting off metal, ricocheting here, bullets thunking into people from that gun specifically.
For the player, from a third person, another person firing at you. There's so many things. The reloads, I mean, you have to cover everything. And that attention to detail is what we focus on here. Basically, when you think of sound interactively, you almost have to simulate, a real world, because that's the expectation.
No big deal. You just simulate a real world. That's what people are expecting. That's what you guys have delivered. So you guys just keep setting the bar high for yourself, and making your job tougher than it really should be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we love to work with Sean and all the visual artists and everybody. They provide us with really good visuals to put some really cool sounds to.
Yeah. So there's a question. If there's a gun that exists in real life, you guys can maybe go to a firing range, get some recordings of that. You have something actual to go off of. But when Sean makes up the Maverick, it's on you guys to also make up the sound that goes with it and make it authentic.
Yeah. I mean, what we do is we always have to take into account the intent of the weapon. So, what kind of size cartridge would this weapon be? Would it be a 7.62 or a 5.56 or whatever? Is it an assault rifle? What's the fire rate of it? All these different things take into account when we're making the weapon sounds.
So you sort of have, like Sean was saying, he sort of has inspiration from real life. You guys have these touch points to reference.
Yeah.
But in the end, you're in there tweaking the weight to the sound files and with the actual timbre of these weapons to be something different.
Yeah, something completely new.
Very cool. Yeah. So that, obviously that was one of the big things you guys worked on for the Onslaught DLC here, but we were on Fog earlier. We heard some creepy music come in.
Yeah.
You guys are also part of setting the ambient tone. And when you have stuff like Fog, when it's, the sound of this map is maybe not, there's not so much, not as much of a heavy ambient sound.
Correct. Yeah.
Profile or personality as would be on Fog.
Correct. With this map, we have a lot of events and stuff that go on. So like the shuttle goes up and it gets hit by a rod of God and it crashes, and there's like the jet engines that you can turn on, to test, and those sorts of things. They have a lot of sounds in them. But for Fog, we have so many ambiences going on, because if you think of what a swamp sounds like, it's very busy. It's very loud. It's very busy. So we have to intertwine all those ambiences in with the gameplay, and then when Mike Myers comes out, we actually got the licensed music from them.
You got to.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It just gives you this feel, this like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
Even if you haven't seen the movie,
that riff.
Riff, and like, oh no, that's not good. That's not good.
Totally.
And was that kind of fun for you guys? Because it's. I imagine, if you're not a fan of horror movies yourself, it's still emulating this kind of history, this cinematic history of these audio cues and bringing that in. Do you guys, but I imagine you also use that as kind of inspiration for setting the tone the rest of the time.
Yeah, we use music all throughout the game, whether it's multiplayer or single player. We had a great composer this year, David Buckley, who did all the score for us, and we love the material that he's given us. So yeah, we use music elsewhere throughout the game, and it really provides that emotional contact point, for everybody.
And so, of course, we've talked about music, we've talked about sound effects, but Willem on Twitter, or actually Matthew JH, wants to know about voice actors and the kind of speech. Like, how many voice actors you guys use, and what kind of scope is that under? Because you're also in different languages and stuff like that.
There's quite a few actors, and they say a lot of different lines. For example, in the Onslaught DLC, what we have to do is we have to record all the generic actors that are doing the generic voices, male, females, doing the different locational callouts. So like, enemy over by the bog, or enemy over in the house, or enemy by the test site, or whatever it may be. So we have these locational specific callouts, that help aid you while you're playing the multiplayer maps, and so we have to record that for Onslaught.
So those people, the actors, just go in there with like this huge long list of enemy here, enemy there.
Yeah, it's quite a few lines, hundreds and into the thousands, sometimes.
So definitely a big part of big part of the sound operation for sure.
Total, I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of lines of dialogue in the entire game. So that's a lot. Times however many
different languages it's in. Yeah. All right, Harky Jr. on Twitter is curious to know, what is your favorite kill streak sound?
Favorite kill streak sound? Ooh. I would say Loki or Odin. When you hear that poof, poof, of it entering the atmosphere, you're like, uh-oh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because but it's just it's not like it's not the biggest, it's not the craziest sound effects, but the impact on the player's mind.
Yeah.
They know.
That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
Is to impact the players playing style. Their style, their experience, what they do.
And that's always such a gratifying part of playing a game for me, is when I play it enough to know those subtle sound cues, and then I can adapt my behavior, accordingly, or not, as the case may be, in time. It's so cool. Willem is curious about sounds, inside a building, outside a building, in a foggy area, in a coastal area. How do you sort of adjust that to, make a gun or a player's voice sound different in those different environments?
Well, we have what we do is we have a real-time engine that takes care of a lot of kind of the basic what we call occlusion and filtering and all those sorts of things, real time, and then we create environments through the ambience and through these three-dimensional emitters and stuff that makes you feel like you're there.
Very cool, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for sitting down and talking Onslaught sound design with me.
All right.
Thanks for answering the questions, too. The folks on Twitter definitely appreciate it. We're going to get a lead animator up here in just a second, but so I'll send you off. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you.
And folks, this is your regular reminder. Send a tweet to GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught, and you can be entered to win DLC codes for Onslaught to make Riley into a wolf, or to get the whole season pass for Call of Duty Ghosts DLC, or a poster like the one behind me, only signed by a ton of the Infinity Ward staff. And I'm told there may even be drawings, so you could win that one. All right, Zach Volker is getting mic'd up right now, and someone is getting him all set. He's coming up. And Tina, nice work in the gun game. Except for that part. How's it going there?
It's going good. I'm having a lot of fun, but it's really nerve-wracking to try to get kills here and stay alive.
Trying to get kills and stay alive. Sounds like a solid plan.
Yeah. Get kills, stay alive.
You look familiar.
Hey there, Chris.
How's it going?
Good.
It's good to see you again.
You're welcome.
All right, which one of you is Zach, though?
I'm Zach. This
Here's
is
Zach.
Mark.
Mark.
Good to meet you.
Chris. All right, Zach, I've got you down here as the lead animator. Oh, it says Mark right here, senior animator. I just didn't read far enough in my document. All right, guys, animators here on Call of Duty Ghosts. We're talking Onslaught. We've talked about the map design. We've talked about weapon design. We've talked about VFX. We've talked about sound. How does, what kind of animations, as an animator, what did you guys work on here for this DLC?
Well, we had two main focuses for DLC. That was the new Maverick gun.
Yes.
And that's what Mark is here for. He was responsible for animating that. And then we have Michael Myers. And so we have Axeman the player gets to run around with the axe, and then we also have him running around in the game. So those are the two main things that we focused on for the project.
All right, so let's talk about the Maverick first. We talked about it with Brian in terms of weapon design. We talked about it in terms of the sound. Talk about the challenge, like a realistic, an actual weapon animation versus a made-up weapon animation. How's that different for you?
Yeah, usually when we start a new animation, we can look at clips of existing weapons online and see how it really works, but this one was made up by Sean, so we could take some liberties with it and just have fun with it. And my goal on this one was to just try and do something that was a little faster. Much to the chagrin of animators, players don't like sitting and watching beautiful animations while they're reloading and getting shot at.
Yeah.
So
just get it over with. Just reload. Just reload.
They cancel it all the time. And so I thought on this one we'll do something a little slicker, a little faster. He grabs the empty mag with his hand, and the new clip's in there, or magazine. Sean's going to kill me if I say clip. It's a magazine. And in one motion, just kind of puts it right back in. So. Yeah, fast and furious and fun, and that was basically the focus of it.
And also, I mean, adapting to two different versions of the same gun.
That's right, that's right. And so the animations are a little bit different. I know the sniper, when we pull out a sniper rifle, we usually pull it off the shoulder, and in this case, we actually had an actual strap modeled for us that we could animate with, and usually we pantomime it. This one I actually wanted to sort of show that contact and play with that strap. And so the sniper has different pull-out animations, and the reloads are very similar. The clip sizes are different. If you look at the sniper, it's like a stubby, short clip. And so on that one, we sort of tweaked the hand positions and gave it a little different flavor, but they're pretty similar otherwise.
Do you guys have, like, reloading hand models that come in and, like, do try to do some sort of this guy? Right?
We're the hand models.
We are, that's right. There's a lot of, here, someone hold the camera while I do this fast. And we play around with ourselves.
Give yourself some reference files.
Yeah, we actually have a gun wall in my room, Chance and I do, and it's got a bunch of airsoft assault rifles, SMGs, the whole thing. And so we try and find a gun that's similar weight, shape, class. And the first thing we do is we'll play with a gun, and we actually have a GoPro that we hold in our mouth, and it's perfect first-person reference. So as I'm playing with it, I can see where the hand positions are. I can see how quickly the gun should move and settle and whatnot to give it that extra bit of realism that ups the quality versus coming up with something off the top of my head. So the reference is a big key.
Has GoPro made that, like, mouth guard mount yet, or is that just you guys
I know Chance wants,
improvising?
or Zach probably wants us to get something like that, because it is a little... weird
you know,
sharing
some
that.
of those big mouth guards, you could probably work something
Cleanliness
out.
is important at the studio.
Yeah, mouth sanitation on items.
Yeah.
That's those animators,
That's
right?
what you gotta do for the
guys are
job.
the only ones putting your mouths on stuff here.
It's the
developing
passion,
ghosts.
right? Whatever it takes to get it good.
All right, so, you can't exactly do that. I don't know. Did you do the same thing for axe murdering? Just hold the
Absolutely.
axe and then the GoPro in your
it's
mouth?
awkward because the field of view of the camera, the player's camera, is a little bit different than in reality, and so to hold the weapons, you kind of have to hold them out a little bit further than normal.
The player wants to see where the
Right.
weapon is and needs that kind of information, right, in order to use it. You can't just be holding the axe up behind your head the whole
Right.
time.
There's
and,
a lot of limitations like that, for sure.
Yeah, it's awkward. So when you've got it out, it limits your movement. You're trying to get a good view of it with the GoPro in your mouth, and you're trying not to chip a tooth.
Or it flies out of your mouth and breaks or something.
That's right. But the axe is tough because what makes an axe have weight is the anticipation, right? It's that big swing back and then that quick chop. But in the game, there's no time for that. It's just, I need the chop quick.
I need to put this into someone
That's right.
real quick.
So, we just mess with timing and do what we can to do it, blend it as much as is this real, as much as is it believable, and does it feel satisfying. So we're always skirting that line.
How many Halloween movies did you have to watch before you felt like you were really ready to make Mike Myers here?
I don't know. I think how many people got sick watching me run around with the axe at the studio would be.
Is that you?
No, that was thankfully not me.
I'm gonna figure out who that was. So, I mean, is that, large melee weapons, is traditionally not the purview of Call of Duty. You guys are normally the quick knife, the throw, stuff like that. Is that something you want to maybe try more of? You want to get, a shovel for your snow level that you're working on?
I think it's really just whatever's appropriate. They really wanted to play up Michael Myers and to see, what would be fun and exciting to do. And so the axe fit from that perspective. But yeah, it's always fun to try to figure out, what are the areas we haven't gone to before and figure out, could this work? Could this be successful? And most importantly, would people enjoy playing with this?
Yeah. Well, so we've got a question from Peter on Twitter wondering what was the hardest movement for you guys to capture, thus far in the sort of the Ghosts and the Onslaught DLC development process. Was it the axe?
Oh, I think for us, it would definitely be Riley.
Oh, Riley.
Oh, the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on the mocap stage with him, and they say don't work with children and animals, and I can attest to the truth.
Are you a proponent of that
Yeah.
as of now?
I was, you take for granted the ability to say, hey, you know what, can you just turn a little bit more to your right? Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
or
just slightly chin up.
That's right.
Chin up,
Elbow down. There's none of that. So it's a lot of hands on the dog, like, no, move your hips here. No, I want to put your foot there. And then, he gets the first half right, but the second half doesn't look good. And so it's a lot of back and forth. So
was the dog's name actually Riley that you guys worked with?
Ruger.
Ruger?
Ruger, that's right.
That's right, yeah.
Fantastic dog.
He was a beast.
Beautiful. He was amazing. He was
Friendly
amazing.
guy?
Very. It's amazing because the combat training that they go into is really thought of. From their perspective, they kind of see it as a game, right? They don't know any better. They don't know the difference between real and fake. They just know to be obedient in this way or not. And so it was really fascinating to watch his owner engage him in this ferociousness. And then in a moment, he shuts off and is just the cutest guy in the world.
And then it's like, oh yeah, that's
it's
cool.
all a game to the dog. I mean, it looks nasty, but he's just having fun, the dog. So.
And like those teeth that were just, rending a man's arm are now like, look at my face.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, dismember an arm.
Another question from Twitter, James Edgar, wondering about what is one of your favorite reloading animations that you guys have worked on?
On this game, I did about 10 or 11 guns, and I think for me, the one that seemed to strike a chord with other people, at least in the studio, was the Honey Badger.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. And as an animator, you get an opportunity to sort of add character to these weapons. And the reload and the first pullout, those are your opportunities. And so on this one, when I got a gun called the Honey Badger, I thought, I remember that Honey Badger video on the internet, right? The Honey Badger don't care, and it had the attitude, that really tough, I don't give a crap attitude. So in this gun, I thought it'd be fun to have him just flick the magazine out, like, I don't care, there goes the magazine. And then in the pullout, it's an aggressive sort of, it pulls the stock of the gun out really quickly. And so it's adding that kind of character. And I had fun with that, I was inspired by it. And every time you're inspired, it seems like, I think people respond more to it.
Yeah, they can sort of see that come through.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Zach?
Favorite gun?
Or any kind of animation in particular that for Ghosts or Onslaught?
I think just so many things racing.
You can say Axe Murderer. It's okay. We won't judge you.
Axe Murderer, absolutely. No, it's fun having Michael going around. Just something different, something different. Watching him run with that axe, it was fun.
And we're actually going to be doing a transition here, folks, from the competitive multiplayer maps into Extinction mode. So actually, while I've got you guys here, while we're moving over to Extinction, let's talk about animating aliens in Call of Duty. You guys did that, right?
Animating aliens, yeah.
Yes.
The aliens, they took a long time to kind of figure out how they would move, what they would look like. There was a lot of back and forth spent, is he creature-like? Is he more intelligent? Does he move like a dog? Does he move like a bear or something in between? And so there was just a lot of back and forth trying to figure that look out. And so, I think we came to a pretty good spot.
Yeah, and because there's so many inspirations of, from the Starship Troopers, sort of insect aliens to, I see a predator head over here. Obviously, that's more humanoid aliens, which you guys didn't really do, but are you just like Googling weird insects on, at your desk, like trying to see
YouTube
like
is your
these kind of
friend,
like
for sure.
unnatural stuff?
There's a lot of movies, a lot of movie clips on YouTube flying around. Oh, it should look like this. No, it should look like this. And so it was a pretty polarizing thing at the studio. There were a lot of very passionate discussions over how they should move.
The idea is to make them fast-paced. It's very different than maybe we've seen. It's just something that moves quickly and aggressively.
And so but of course there's a whole hierarchy from the small, like little chittering, nasty dudes that are just going to want to blow up in your face to the ones that are new for this DLC. There's like boss alien. They're like Titan, towering aliens. I imagine it's tough to, because you got to keep a through line through all of them, but also make them very distinct.
Yeah, you just keep a visual design language consistent of, what is the feel for the aliens? Even though you're right, they do all move differently. I think they do move in a consistent way that makes them all feel like they're the same group, they're the same race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the difference in speed. The bigger they are, the slower they move. So.
We've got a question from Josh. We were just talking about sort of comparisons between, movie animations that you see and stuff that you put in the game. And earlier when we were talking with the VFX artists, they were talking about their history in cinema and sort of animating or doing VFX for movies versus games. Do you guys, in terms of animation technique and stuff like that, is there overlap between film cinema? Is there inspiration you guys are taking from those VFX or those animators, or anything like along those lines of sort of animation across different medium?
Video games it's kind of like a different beast, because, and I heard that they talk about different angles. Film is from one perspective, and you guys get that point. You have to look at it from all different angles. But with games, you want that instant reaction. You hit the button, you click the trigger, you want it to move quickly. And sometimes, anticipation is one of the animation principles. We don't have that luxury often, because it's got to move right away. So you're working on how nicely the settle is. It's just a different beast in my experience.
Absolutely, yeah. And also, you have to account for player agency and that unpredictability.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just hitting the beats.
Right, it's interactive. Exactly.
All right, well, that was a question from Josh on Twitter. Just a quick reminder, folks, tweet at GameSpot any questions you want to ask the Infinity Ward staff. Use the hashtag Onslaught. You'll be entered to win codes to download the Onslaught DLC, season passes for all the DLC for Call of Duty Ghosts, the wolf skin, which actually maybe I want to talk to you guys about animating a wolf in a second, and also a giant poster signed and drawn on by all the Infinity Ward staff here. But let's talk about the wolf.
Yes.
Did you guys do any different, like the wolf skin, right? It's multiplayer skin for the Riley Killstreak reward. Did you guys change any animations for the wolf, or was that just a reskinning of Riley's actions?
Yeah, in general, I believe it was a reskin. I think there were some proportion changes that went into that, so it is a little bit different. But
wolf would be a little bigger,
beefier,
right? Yeah,
absolutely. But we just had some technical limitations that we had to make sure that we fit everything into the slot that was it needed to go into. So, yeah.
So when we have a question from Josh Combs wondering about how do you go about animating the different explosions, but I think explosions are maybe the purview of VFX, while player animations are your purview. Sort of, where's the line drawn? What falls under the umbrella of animation?
Well, it really depends on what it is. You're right. We deal with anything that moves, right? So whether it's vehicles or weapons or characters or deaths, we deal with the range. But some of that does overlap into, say, effects. And so what we do is, if there's a particular thing going on in effects that we think, we'd like to help out with that, or we'd like to do part of that, then we collaborate a little bit more.
Okay.
And so if something involves a little bit of both, maybe we will animate, say if there was a particular vehicle crash, we would animate the vehicle crashing and rolling and tumbling, and then it would be a collaboration back and forth as they put different effects. They put smoke and sparks and things flying around. So sometimes, you bring up an example of an explosion, it'll be a little bit of a back and forth where we'll do something and we'll bring it over, and what do you guys think? And it's just fun working together sometimes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Of course, with any team project like this, you got to have collaboration. You guys are all informing each other's work and sort of coming together to pull it all together. We talked a little bit about earlier on with the Onslaught DLC, with the fog and the Michael Myers stuff. You guys are, just sort of with DLC, you're able to have a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit less sort of, this is the main thrust of our game, and staying consistent within that. Just like a little more experimentation, maybe. Is that something that you guys feel when you're working on Onslaught as well?
I think so. We carry a certain tone in single player, and just doing these extra packs allow us. It's a lot of hard work to put the game out, and is a big push, and it's a very concerted effort. When the game ships and everyone kind of takes a sigh of relief, and you start turning your attention towards DLC, it's a bit of a different attitude, because you're thinking, the big weight of shipping the game is off, and now we can kind of relax a little bit.
relax a little bit, being, of course, I'm sure a very relative term for
That's
you
right.
guys
Perspective
here.
is everything.
But it is nice. I mean, this is our first, as Infinity Ward, our first gun DLC. And so typically, you work on several guns at the same time, and now I get to focus on one gun, for a certain amount of time. Feels luxurious, and you can really just obsess over it, and make sure you got it just right. So that's kind of nice to have that opportunity.
And those decisions, do we do a real gun? Do we do a made-up gun? Well, we haven't really done made-up guns before. Is that something we should do? And this gives us the chance to mess around a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, so you guys, have been working for Infinity Ward for a little while. How long? Can you give us a little background on sort of how you came to be an animator here?
Yeah, sure. So I started 3 years ago, and what started me in my career was actually a CG artist in the automotive advertising industry, completely different in a lot of ways. And I was in
So
Detroit.
is that when I see a car like figure skating and doing pirouettes or something?
So yeah, closed course, do not attempt. Like, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So anyway, I the whole time I was doing that for like 8 years, I was like, I want to do character animation and entertainment. So getting that opportunity in Detroit is not easy. So I went back to school. I did animationmentor.com, online school. I highly recommend it. And through there, my first mentor was working on Ghostbusters, a video game. I threw myself at him because I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. And I said, I'll do anything you need if you have any need for help. Of course, they crunched, and he took me up on my offer. And that gave me a couple shots for my demo reel that were video game professional things, and I think that was the trick for getting me here.
Nice.
Infinity Ward. So.
And so did you find that transition, taking the classes, did you find some of that stuff was applicable across? You had sort of the core animation skills. It was just learning a different sort of framework to put them into?
It was just making it better. I mean, I went to school for character animation, but it was an art school in Detroit, and I needed to get to the next level. Transitionally, so I've been doing short films and character animation all along. I just needed to get it looking better. And it was just improving that by going to that school. So,
right on.
Yeah.
How about you, Zach?
Well, next week it hits 9 years for me here.
No kidding.
And so I came on about halfway through Call of Duty 2.
Yeah, you've been along for this whole Modern Warfare ride.
It's been interesting. A lot of ups, a lot of
other
curves
ups,
and
a lot of continual ups,
twisty cues, and it's been amazing. It's neat to see where it's come from, where it is, and internally as we talk about where we go from here. A lot of fun conversations.
Why you got to reference those fun conversations, man?
You know what?
You're not
It's where we're at.
You're not going to tell me anything about those conversations, except that they're happening, which is interesting because it's sort of with Call of Duty Ghosts. You guys, I've established obviously the end of the sort of Modern Warfare arc. You've done Ghosts, which is its own sort of standalone thing, and you're doing the DLC out. Call of Duty, obviously, huge momentum, hugely popular, but are you going Ghosts 2? I imagine there are discussions like that you guys have to engage with.
It's a typical thing here for us at the end of a project to really reflect and think, what have we done? What do we want to do? And when we say what do we want to do, the sky's the limit, and we really mean that. The neat thing about Infinity Ward is that ever since I started, no matter what position you are here, you have a voice, and if you can sell your ideas, then that's what we'll do. And so we're in a neat place now where, Sean, we're in a neat place now where
he's not wearing a Michael Myers.
That's right. We're having those conversations now.
Yeah.
And really interesting ideas have come up.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
So have you had an idea that you've championed in the past that sort of made it into a game or into the production process, or are there too many of these small decisions and different
they do
turns
get lost.
in the road to count? Yeah.
The game is always completely different when it ends than when you start out, right? You start out and you think, okay, this is what the game is going to be, and then 2 years later you look back and say, wow, where did that game go?
How did we get here?
But that's the process. It's iterative. As you go through, you figure out some things don't work as well as you think, and some things you didn't think were going to work well come out really strong. And so there's a lot of changing directions, and but that's the fun part of the process, is you never know where it's going to turn out, but you always know that when you have a talented group of guys together and everyone's fighting for the ideas that they believe are strongest, you get some neat stuff.
Sounds very cool. We've got another question coming over Twitter for you guys about the Nightfall chapter, and it's chapter 1 or episode 1 in the sort of Extinction arc that begins with Onslaught. Neo Spectre is curious about the Scorpion gun, which is a new thing in Extinction Nightfall. Can you talk a little bit about what it is and where you got the inspiration for it?
I think it takes an egg from a scorpion, and that is its ammo essentially. And the reload is pretty wild. You know, you put the egg on it, and it squeezes it in, and it gives it some extra power. Aside from that, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure much more about it than that actually.
It's scorpion egg yolk is really the power source of the entire alien infest. No, I don't know.
We just animate.
It's that's again the fun stuff you can do with things like Extinction and DLC is it's something we've never done before.
Yeah.
And there was
animating an egg reload
Right.
into like I'm picturing something very
Squeezing out.
like organic feeling, very goopy and kind of gross. Is that kind of on the mark?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The player has gloves on for a reason. Yeah.
It's all about sanitation with
Yeah,
you animation
exactly.
guys.
That's right.
we run a clean ship.
That's right.
Excellent. Just a quick reminder, folks, we're giving away codes for Onslaught DLC, for Call of Duty Go Season Passes, and for the Wolf Micro DLC, the Wolf Skin DLC for your Riley Killstreak, as well as a big old poster. Just tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. And we've got another question from Charlotte, wondering how long does it take to animate a weapon from start to finish? So let's take the example of the Scorpion gun. You guys, the idea for that gun comes to the animation department. How long does it take you guys to sort of conceptualize that, prototype it and bring it to fruition?
Well, that gun wasn't mine, but typically it ranges quite a bit, actually. A lot of it depends, too, on the limitations of the production and how quickly you got to move along. But I would say anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, usually closer to 2, and sometimes you're down to 1 week on a gun. But, yeah, 2. And hopefully the earlier guns get a little more love, too, which is nice. So
We typically budget out 3 weeks per gun, and some of them run long because maybe there's a little bit more complexity. We're trying to do something that we haven't done before.
Right.
Sometimes the experimentation process, if you're trying to really bring something new and fresh, if you look back at the history of Call of Duty, there's been a lot of weapons, and so it's a continual challenge for us as animators to try and think, how can I animate this in a way that hasn't been done before when you're doing really the same motions over and over and over again.
There's only so many ways to pull a magazine
To
in and
pull a
out.
slide back.
That's
You ever
right.
miss the old M1 Garand, Zach?
Absolutely. Ka-ching! I think anyone who's played it misses that
So
sound.
satisfying.
That's right.
So good. Awesome. Well, Zach, Mark.
Yep, you got it.
Thank you so much for coming on and
All
talking
right, Chris.
animation
Always
with
a
me.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, guys.
Thank you very
We're
much.
going to send you guys off. We're going to have someone come on to talk about Extinction. It's going to be Brian Bright, from the game designer from Neversoft. But first up, Tina, are you going to come over here?
Do I
give us a little post.
do I get a say?
Yeah, come
Do
here.
I gotta?
Have a seat here.
All right.
How did your gun games go?
I think I did okay. My last match wasn't my best, but I had a lot of fun because I was drop shotting and I'm practicing that. So I hope the community feels, a little bit leeway with me when they judge how well I did. But it was a lot of fun.
How does the community generally feel about drop shotting?
I know that some people get annoyed by it, but it's so easy to do if you just switch to tactical. So I highly recommend people try it out because you just hit the right stick and then you just fall straight to the ground. Yep.
You fall straight to the ground and then someone's shooting bullets over your head.
It's like what we do in
instead of
real
into
life,
them.
right? Like when I go home, eat pizza, I just go flat on my stomach and watch Game of Thrones.
Do you yell drop shot every time you do that?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You have to, yeah.
So we're transitioning now from the 4 competitive maps into Nightfall, the first sort of episode of this Extinction episodic arc you guys are starting.
Yeah, so there's going to be 5 episodes altogether. So this is the second one. This is our first as DLC.
Sure.
And so the first one took place in Colorado, right? And then you were introduced to the aliens and the scorpions and all that crazy stuff. And the rhinos were the huge, big aliens that you had to fight up against. And in this
Guys are a real
one,
pain.
I know
Not do so well against us.
Well, if you think the rhinos were bad, wait till you see the breeder, the giant spider-looking alien.
I saw a picture of it. I don't know what these creature design animator dudes are doing, but they're freaking me out a little bit.
Scary, right? Yeah.
I don't like it.
So in Nightfall, it takes place in Alaska, right? And you're trying to help out a scientist because she thinks that she knows why the aliens are there and why they're attacking us. And so it really, there's new character development and stuff, so, and you can finally customize your characters that you use for the first time.
Oh, nice.
In Extinction, so I'm going to use my face when I play later on.
Your face?
Yeah, I'm face E in the game.
Oh, really?
So,
No
yeah.
kidding.
It's fun to use. And we also added 5 new prestige levels. So the max prestige you can get in Extinction now is 10. And we also turned on double Extinction XP today just for this live stream, so you guys can play this weekend. So.
Oh, sweet.
Camera, yes.
Which one? Who do I tell it to? So wait,
one.
double XP Extinction weekend?
Yes.
Does that go through Sunday?
Uh-huh.
Or awesome. Get out there, get your Extinction.
So they can
XP
play
on,
along
folks.
with us, you know, follow along, see how far you can get.
Are you guys going to be playing?
Yes.
We actually have got a lot of some questions about tactics already. Some people have
Okay,
already
cool.
been diving
Yeah.
in and wondering. And down here, Rich on Twitter wondering, the third barricade in Nightfall is apparently really stymieing him. So actually, can you give us sort of a general, I mean, does Nightfall follow sort of a similar progression to the first episode that we saw released with the main game?
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be a beginning and end, and along the way there, you know, you can spend points on things that you want. The real trick, though, to Extinction is to just really use teamwork, right?
Yeah,
I mean, and you have to really pay attention to everyone else's loadouts, because if you're all rolling with the same thing, it's not really going to help at all.
The worst is when you see just like those redundant ammo boxes,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4, and you know people have just put their points into the same stuff.
Yeah, and they're just wasting the money. Yeah,
you're killing
can't
me.
do that. Yeah, you at least need, you know, variety, and I highly recommend the IMS when you're in trouble. We
Yeah.
need someone with a death machine, definitely. And then the Feral Instincts. I don't see many people using it when I play online, but it's something that you really want to use towards the end because it makes you run faster.
And running fast is
It's very important. Yeah. And the cool thing about Nightfall is that we introduced a new weapon into Extinction called Venom X.
Is that the scorpion gun thing that we were I was sort of talking with the animators about that just a second ago. How would you describe the reload animation?
Disgusting.
Yeah, okay.
Not safe for your parents to hear about. You just squeeze, never mind. I'm not gonna.
Well, hopefully we're going to start up an Extinction match pretty soon. Hopefully we can see that in action.
Yeah.
Do you have to like kill a scorpion and like rest that,
Not
or do you
necessarily.
purchase
That's just
it
the way
in
you reload.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way you want to find these weapons is in the lockers. There's lockers scattered throughout the environment, but you have to find the keys that are hidden in the environment as well to open the lockers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's a new mechanic for
Extinction.
For Extinction. Was it in the
Nightfall.
first one as well? Yeah, it's new for Nightfall.
Yeah. We really want people to explore the environments because there's things that are hidden. You can get new scopes, new attachments.
I love searching through
you know.
garbage piles.
Of course.
Yeah,
you know,
find,
get free
you
ammo.
find my silencer in there or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
But now, so you find keys and then have to take them. You have to take them to the right lockers, and so that's another way to get. Is it get specific weapons, or is it like a random power weapon that you get?
It's the best way to find the Venom X weapon, but there could be random stuff in it as well, depending on which one you choose to open.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we're going to go ahead and get you started with an Extinction match right now. So good luck.
I'm ready. I don't want to die.
We will be watching.
Oh, God.
And rooting for you. And rooting for you. That
All right,
part too.
thanks. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Tina. And coming up on stage here is going to be Brian Bright, game designer at Neversoft, for Extinction mode. Brian, come on over here. Have a seat.
Hi.
I'm Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for joining us up here. Appreciate
No problem.
it.
Thank you.
You heard we were just talking with Tina a little bit about Nightfall, but I want to talk with you about sort of what, because this is, it says episode 1. We've already got a taste for Extinction and sort of set the stage, but now you guys are starting an arc that's going to go over the next 4 DLC packs.
Yeah, so basically, where we left off after the first map on Disc Map, Point of Contact, you were an elite team and you were sent in to kind of clean up a job. And what the job was that the government had this Project Nightfall where they had known about these cryptids, not had any proof, but known about them for years. And after the Odin strike, they were able to go down and into this exposed crater.
Yep.
And what they found were cryptid specimens, but they also woke up the horde. And so they left the nuke there and they got the hell out.
They did get the hell out. Well, like one time I got the hell out. The rest of the times I died getting the hell out.
Yeah, well, you're actually the squad that goes in after this Nightfall team to clean up the mess.
Yeah, because you trigger the nuke to wipe it all
to
out.
wipe it all off and just take care of the situation. After that, what we find out is that Dr. Archer is like the head of this Nightfall, kind of secret Nightfall organization.
and he's actually taken those specimens that he got from the crater in Colorado up to an Arctic base up north in Alaska. And he brought with him this woman, Samantha Cross, who is a telepath, and she can speak lots of languages, and she kind of like has some type of telepathic connection to the cryptids.
Trying to communicate with the cryptids?
Yeah.
And what does she get back? Just kill, eat, die?
Well, we haven't really shown that. We haven't gone there yet to exactly how that communication works.
Sure.
But your job here is to go into the base, obviously, destroy the samples, the cryptids that have gotten out, and find Dr. Cross and any information you can about Archer and Nightfall. And of course.
And here we are starting off in the Arctic climate. And so this, like the previous Extinction map, it sort of begins, each sort of stage takes place in these open areas, and you are beset by aliens while you're defending the drill, and also trying to scavenge for stuff to sort of increase your loadout and get better. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about sort of the genesis of the idea for Extinction mode, because it's, people will compare it to, Treyarch's zombie mode a little bit, but I think it's really its own beast and its own sort of pace and gameplay structure. What sort of inspired you guys to develop this?
Well, we wanted to have combat, co-op combat against like more three-dimensional enemies, not enemies that come out and shoot, guys that can come at you at strange and weird angles.
Yeah.
And we definitely wanted them to be fast-moving and to be really fast-paced. So we landed on like aliens. Obviously, the backstory puts them as they've been here a while. But we also wanted scavenging, exploration, and a little bit of tower like defense, and class leveling, kind of all mixed into one. And all those were ideas we liked.
Which, when you kind of say it, it sounds like a lot of big ideas to put into one game.
Yeah.
Or into one mode even. Did you guys? A bit of a challenge.
It was a bit of a challenge. We actually came up with the idea. We spent a whole afternoon. I brought in all my toys in Jenga blocks and a big a big carpet that had streets and stuff on it, and put it out on a table, and we played with the toys all day long.
Oh, just kind of mapped it out.
Just kind of like, okay, here's
how could this play
this
out?
This is a base. All right, now what we do
here?
here, and we moved them around the map, and it had dinosaur toys and stuff. And,
no kidding.
And spent the whole day doing that, and out of that came the kind of the genesis of what we have. So,
oh, that's cool. Yeah. Do you guys have some like behind-the-scenes photos of your?
Probably. I think I do.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Talk about a great Easter egg to put somewhere.
Cool.
So here we are in Extinction. Let's talk a little bit about it's what you guys tried to do, learning from the first sort of deployment of Extinction with Ghosts into this DLC. Obviously, you're sort of launching on the narrative structure in a different way, but in terms of gameplay and sort of mechanics, did you have any feedback or any tweaks that you sort of implemented?
Yeah, I mean, well, we added things in the game that weren't there, like we put the create a soldier in, so you can dress up your soldier, how you want in the lobby.
Yep.
And then as far as mechanics, we have a new alien type. We have the Phantom. He's a beast. He teleports when he jumps, so he's kind of hard to track.
Yeah.
And he's really strong. He's much stronger than a regular hunter. We have new spawn animals, so like they'll spawn out. They'll spawn out of crates will open. You'll hear an alarm, a crate will open, and if you're unlucky, it could be a rhino or something that pops out of that.
Oh, really? Not just coming in from over the edges of the map.
Yeah, sometimes those crates, and I think one did spawn out of it recently. They'll spawn out of the ground, kind of tweak the way they spawn. We added, like you were saying earlier, we added lockers where you can find super pimped out guns with like 4 attachments on them and max ammo. So if you find a locker key, you can maybe save some cash by not buying a gun. And
yeah. Are locker keys, is that something you'd find like from searching a pile of garbage or a thing that you've sort of had in the environment before?
Yeah, it's something you'd find pillaging. As well as we added a whole intel, similar to like the Rourke files in single player where there's hidden intel and you find them all and they give you backstory. Here we've got intel, we've got, I think there's like 5 pieces of intel that are in like kind of hard to find locations and they're fixed. They're little laptops. And then we've got 6 pieces on this map that are kind of dispersed into the pillage system. So it's kind of like you have to randomly find it and scavenge. But each of those plays a little clip when you hear it, but then it unlocks a movie in the front end. in the intel section. So you get the backstory of what Archer, Cross, how did all this happen? How did Nightfall come about? What do they know about these creatures?
About the creatures, yeah. Now, when it comes to sort of building a narrative in a mode like this, right? I imagine you can have a temptation to make things very secretive, so the player it rewards the most dedicated, or you also want people who aren't going to necessarily search every nook and cranny to get something out of the story. Yeah. How do you kind of, where do you land on the spectrum of that?
Yeah, well, we I think about there obviously needs to be enough that's easy to find that hooks the players, and the players are, I'm invested in the story, I'm interested in the story. As they work their way through the game, there's a cutscene that'll play out when you get past the breeder, a few hives past that. There's actually a cutscene that plays out. So if you're in the room and you see that, you kind of catch that story. You might hear some audio from different rooms that are playing clips of kind of the backstory or communications that Archer's having with Godfather or something. And then there is another layer, though. We don't want to just give it all to you in the first 2 minutes.
Of course,
so
yeah.
There is that, you want to play again, you want to try to find all of them, you're going to get an achievement, it might drive you to play, and then you put them all in the front end, the menu. That with the intro movie that plays before you load up the map the first time, and then the outro, assuming they get out. So it's kind of we want to make sure you know enough so that you're kind of hooked and want to know more.
Yeah, so it's not just I have no idea what's going on here. What happened to shooting aliens? Yeah, you give them a little something. Someone from Twitter, Jeffrey, is curious to know, of the aliens, sort of design and approach to, what is a favorite part of the aliens that you have created here? What do you like most about them, the cryptids?
The design of them?
Or, just sort of about combat with them. Oh, okay, we saw the Phantom right there, just through the teleport jump.
My favorite is I like when they jump out of the way, they crawl on walls, they kind of avoid you shoot at them, and I like when they come from different angles. They get up high and hit you from different angles. You're so used to Call of Duty and shooting horizontally.
Yep.
You're not used to them coming down from unexpected angles. And I like their head. I think their head plates are awesome from a character design standpoint.
There are some nasty dudes in this for sure.
And I like the way the head plates kind of open up and they have this bioluminescence that we can tune on and off when they're about to attack. That kind of glows stronger in their soft spots, and I think that's really cool looking.
Gosh, is that a quote? Yeah. So, one of the great things you just mentioned about Extinction mode is that it does subvert that kind of normal Call of Duty combat pace. You've got things coming from all over you've got them moving in very divergent, different ways. Did you find, thinking about what weapons you're going to put in here, what perks and stuff like that, did you find that certain things worked a little better in Extinction, or certain things that are great for, normal multiplayer or campaign just don't really work so well?
Yeah, we found, give you an example, the marathon perk, right, that lets you run forever. We had that in for a while because it was fun, because you're running a lot from them, but then we got to the escape sequence of the first map, and you can just run right out.
You just run, hey! I can run forever, see you guys later!
Yeah, and I was like, oh, come on. So, I had to balance that down to, more of the extreme conditioning that you can get through the feral instincts, so you can't run forever because it's just, you were able to outrun them pretty much forever without that.
You don't make it that easy.
Yeah.
Come on.
And, you can go the weapon specialist line. Sleight of hand is super important because you're shooting a lot, you got to reload a lot. You could supplement that with a different loadout with the fast hands booster. So you got all the hand perks that you would get in weapon specialist, but you could run tank or something,
especially in the latter stages right before the escape, that sleight of hand, that quick reload is vital. If I was slow, because I found myself really liking the LMG for it, because it's just can keep shooting, keep on down, but then I'm spending 8 minutes reloading. Oh god, they're just chewing on me, and I'm like, oh, I have to move this thing over here.
It's crucial, especially with that gun.
Definitely. So, are there, in addition to the new Venom X something? I forgot the actual name.
Venom X.
Venom X gun. Have you brought in any other different guns from the sort of the Call of Duty arsenal?
We brought in a few new ones. We brought in the Maverick, which is the new gun for this DLC. So that's the first gun that the guy that gets killed at the beginning from the breeder and drops his gun. So you can buy that. I think we put the ARX in. We put a handful of different guns from that you didn't see in the last game that you would see in multiplayer.
Yeah.
But Venom X is the one unique gun that we made just for this map.
How about perks? Are we seeing any new perks in terms of the different character classes?
No, we just made some slight tweaks to balancing tweaks to the game. But it's not to say that we won't see anything new in the future. But in this map, we have the same kind of perk loadout system.
Sure. And we have a question actually. Mike is curious to know, what is your favorite class to play in Extinction? You personally?
Oh, let's see. Depends on who I'm playing with. If I'm not playing with very good players, I'll probably run medic, so I can pick them up and save the game and avoid the scorpion gas clouds. Other than that, it's weapon specialist is good for the increased damage, like right in this instance, if you're weapon specialist.
And yeah, so let's talk about the breeder here, because this is a new character, a new horrible cryptid monster that the players have to face off against in Onslaught and Nightfall.
Yeah, so
what is up with this thing?
So the breeder will spawn eggs, throw them at the players, and if the eggs take, I don't know, anywhere between 4 to 6 seconds to hatch into hunters. And they come chase you, so you got to get those eggs. It's important.
Because otherwise you're just going to get overrun.
And if you do what he just did, you get shot by he's got big turrets.
That was a really nasty barrage.
Yeah, he's got big turret-like things that come out of his back and shoot players, and now everyone's crawling around because they all got
everyone's doing
they all got destroyed.
Crawling on their butts because they got totally lit up. All right, looks like we're all right. We got some good revives. Nice little sidearm covering.
And if they get to the final battle, you'll see a couple new attacks from the breeder that you don't see in this battle.
So there's multiple encounters with the breeder across the course of this Extinction map?
Yeah, they'll push through here, and then they'll push kind of into the compound and into the factory area. And then after they get out of the factory, they'll have the final battle with the breeder, where the breeder starts launching these healing pods that will heal him if you don't destroy those. The beam will start sweeping, and it'll move around a bit more. So it's quite a different encounter.
All right, while we watch this breeder encounter, folks, quick reminder to tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught, and you'll be entered to win codes to download the Onslaught DLC for Xbox One and Xbox 360, season passes for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and the DLC for the Wolf reskin of your Riley Killstreak for Xbox One and Xbox 360, and also a version of this poster that you see back here, only it's the one you see way back there. People are already starting to sign and draw on and stuff like that. But we're proceeding here through you guys are calling it episode 1, but it's not actually episode 1. Anyways, Nightfall for Extinction. It's part of the new Onslaught DLC, and I'm here with Brian from Neversoft. So you guys sort of in charting the arc of Extinction, you want the nature of Extinction, having one solid map out for a couple months, and then this one is going to be new. It's sort of meant to be replayed. It's meant to entice players back to repeat it. And what kind of considerations do you have to make in the design process to give it that replayability, to give it that, to incentivize players to come back?
Right. Well, it really depends on the type of player. If they're like a score fiend, a leaderboard kind of player, you can go back and play with the relics that we have. So every time you prestige the game, you can use a new relic. We have up to 5 relics. So if you're 5th level prestige, you can turn them all on. The relics make the game harder for you and give you a huge score bump, like a 20% for each relic that's on. So you can go, if I'm going to go pistols only with no class and take more damage, that's 3 relics. So can I do that? Can I get out? You'll be near the top of the leaderboard.
You will have accomplished something very difficult, but
and in doing that, it doesn't really affect the rest of the teams. So you're not making the game harder for everyone else. You're just making the game harder for yourself. So you'll still be able to matchmake or find a game and get in.
I did play a match with a guy who was using pistols the entire time.
He was probably going for.
He was really good.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have to. Nope, he definitely was really on point, had definitely played a large amount of times. So we've got some questions coming in from Twitter. Alex is curious to know, being Neversoft's first FPS, what were some of the things they learned now having worked on Extinction? You guys have a little bit more history with FPSs than just Extinction, is that right?
Yeah, we worked on the Chaos mode from Modern Warfare 3, and we did Gun, which was a third-person shooter.
Yeah.
But, besides Chaos mode, and what we've learned, God, it's hard to make one of these games.
It is.
It's hard. It's difficult. It's in the level of like polish that we strive to be at, and the way it feels is so important. Call of Duty games always just have to feel awesome.
Yep.
And just dealing with this many things going on over the network, network bandwidth, latency, all that stuff is like crucial. And then next gen as well. We did this across all generations on the launch year.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
and being on the vanguard of development for the Xbox One, for the PlayStation 4, is there a certain amount of just like figuring that out as you go along? Because there's not a lot of precedent. You can't like look at other dev teams. You can't like have a guy come down to your dev team who like has developed 2 games for the Xbox One already, consult or anything.
Yeah, no, and then you have to update your dev kit every week with new updates from first parties. So that was
maybe just might break something.
Take like an hour to do, so that was kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah, a lot of learnings, and just FPS in general. Just from how the COD engine, how to deal with, weapons, first-person animations, all the, weapon settings. We have hundreds of weapon settings you can tweak to make guns feel a certain way. We kind of took the guns from MP, but then we made them our own. We kind of like tuned them our own to balance in Extinction, because you're fighting enemies with, up to 10, 15,000 health, as opposed to a soldier that has 1,000 health. So we needed to balance those to make that feel right.
Yeah, so even though it seems like the same gun you're using in MP,
it's totally tweaked different.
Yeah. But you're not necessarily gonna know, because you're not shooting a person, you're shooting all the crazy aliens.
Yeah, exactly. If you took one of these guns into MP, it would just be so overpowered. It's ridiculous. So.
Oh man, I just heard thousands of people on Twitter thinking, oh, I would really love to just take that. Just give me one match with the OP Maverick, and I'll be a happy player. A lot of people are curious about Easter eggs that you guys have put in, and part of Easter eggs is the fun of you guys discover those on your own. But the community has already been playing the game for a couple days. A lot of people have been playing it. They're starting to discover some, but like for you, when it comes to like putting something, just a little fun Easter egg in the game, what do you like to do?
We like it to be something that doesn't really screw up gameplay for everyone else. It's kind of a fun thing that gets everyone's attention. It's like, wow, and sometimes it serves a purpose. Like I think we announced one on our last live stream where if you hold the ADS button and jump for 2 seconds, you'll drop a cash box, so you can give your friends cash. We also had
feeling generous.
Yeah, with this one. We did a couple things. I don't know if anyone's even found the snowman one yet.
The snowman one.
I'll just
there
say,
you go, internet. You'll just say.
Look for the sparks.
Look for the sparks.
Yeah, look for the sparks.
Excellent. Very cryptic. I like it. What is one that some people have found that you know?
Well, they
about?
found that we did one that includes all of Onslaught with Easter eggs. It's called Extra XP. You get an achievement. There's these egg-like things that are in all the MP maps. If you find them and shoot them in all 4 of the MP maps, and then come back into Extinction and plant the drill and defeat the first hive, you'll get 10,000 Extinction XP, and you'll get an achievement for it. And
nice.
So that one's kind of cool. You have to play it, all the maps that came out in the pack.
All the maps in the Onslaught DLC pack.
Yeah, and they did the designers did a good job. They're like hidden pretty well, like even in the periphery of the map and stuff. So I've seen a lot of kids online like, all right, where's the one in this map or that map, and they're all, putting up screenshots and stuff. So people figure that one out, which I thought was cool.
Is it fun to see that community reaction to it, that enthusiasm?
Yeah, it's fun to see when it actually comes out. I mean, sometimes I'll go into a game and do the LOL one we had in the last game and just do it and hear people like, what the hell? How did you do that?
I imagine that's kind of a gratifying reaction for you to
get.
It's kind of the surprise.
Yes, totally.
Awesome, Brian. Well, before we're just about to shut down our Extinction section of this live stream, and I just want to, one person on Twitter, Willem's curious to know if you have any teaser details or anything you want to say about the next couple episodes of the Extinction arc.
Well, you kind of got to watch the outro for this one. You watch the ending, it'll tease what we're going to have next.
It'll give you a good solid tease.
If you don't have it, I'm sure it's on the internet. If you haven't gotten to it, if you want, I encourage you to get your friends, play through to the end and watch it.
All right. Yeah. Brian, thank you so much for talking Extinction. Really appreciate it. Right. We're going to have Tina come up on here. We'll send you off. And Tina, come on over here to wrap it up and give us a little post-mortem on your Extinction playthrough here.
All right.
How did it go for you there? Did you get extincted?
Yeah, I did. We went for the challenge and we got greedy. The challenge that we died on was each of us had to shoot the alien at least once before we killed it.
Okay.
And it was
shoot like 25 times or something?
Or like each of us. So all 4 of us had to shoot the same alien before we killed it. So
didn't work out for you?
No, because we're like, we shot it. Oh wait, someone has to kill it. Oh, we're dead. So it was pretty hard.
Are you talking about the breeder alien specifically, or just like one of the...
Oh, it's just one of the challenges, yeah. So you can earn extra points to spend, skill points, by completing challenges, and we got really greedy.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to knife a lot of scouts early on there.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to let the challenge go.
I can't.
Survive.
It's just who I am. I know.
All right, well, we've talked a lot about Onslaught DLC today. We played a bunch of multiplayer, played some Extinction, the Nightfall. Saw you do a pretty good job with that Maverick sniper.
Oh, yeah.
On that domination match. That was good. So, of course, we're giving away a bunch of codes, folks. Hopefully you've been tweeting at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught. Onslaught DLC codes, Ghosts Season Passes, the Wolf.
It's just a lot of stuff.
Wolfskin.
Wolfskin, that poster back there, I still need to sign it.
Have you signed it yet?
No, not yet. I'm going to do that
after this. Are you going to do a little drawing on there?
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want it, Riley, maybe? Big Riley?
How are you at drawing dogs?
Or maybe this thing, this 8-bit ghost.
8-bit ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's not a t-shirt that people can get, right? Is that like an internal Infinity Ward kind of thing?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we've had requests, and so we're looking into doing a giveaway later on.
All right.
Yeah.
So like people follow you on Twitter or something like that?
Yeah, on Infinity Ward, and then we'll announce it.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe for the next one.
Maybe for the next one, yeah, cool. Which is coming out?
Eventually. Eventually.
Well, so actually, this is worth mentioning, actually, is the Onslaught DLC is out right now for Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
Yes.
Have you guys announced a date for PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PC yet?
Usually follows about 30 days after, so sometime in February.
Cool. And so folks can look forward to it then. And if you've won one of our season passes, you'll have it already. And, you know, thanks to all you folks for tweeting all the questions with the hashtags and whatnot. I think we're pretty much questioned out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favorite map?
What's my? I mean, Fog is obviously intriguing, but you know what? I kind of like Ignition because I was partial to Scrapyard.
Yeah.
The one that's inspired by. Why did you guys bring that one back? Actually, we do. That is the one more question I'll bring back here. Is JP asked a while ago why bring it back? And he says, by the way, love the remake. But,
oh, nice.
So like, what did you guys like about Scrapyard enough to bring it back or to make a map inspired by Ignition?
Well, you know, one of the biggest requests we always get is, you know, bring back this map or bring back one of my favorite maps. No one has requested Bog yet. I don't know why. That's just a joke from COD 4. But
it's a good Bog joke.
Yeah, so a lot of people loved Scrapyard, and you know, it was really cool that we made it into a paintball arena at XP.
That's right.
And so, you know, we thought, you know, let's throw it in here. And we put a new twist to it. So there's a rocket ship, and then you can go underground now, and it's a lot of fun. It's fun to see like the old and mix it with the new. And you know, I remember all those sight lines from Modern Warfare 2. So
do you find yourself sort of finding familiar spots?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I feel bad because I don't want to do that. You know, like when I'm playing online, people will get mad at me if I camp, right? So I got to move around.
You have to, you know, set a good example for the community.
Yeah, something
You're
like
that. Camper, aren't you?
Yeah, drop shot and everything. Yeah.
Awesome, Tina. Well, I want to thank you guys and all the folks here at Infinity Ward for having us here, and thank you folks for watching the live stream here live from Infinity Ward. We've been playing Call of Duty Ghosts Onslaught. DLC is available now for Xbox One and Xbox 360. You can still tweet at GameSpot using the hashtag Onslaught to win codes for the DLC, the Season Pass, and make your doggy look like a wolf, and a poster that Tina's going to draw a picture on. All that stuff and is up for grabs, and yeah, that'll do it for us here today. Tina,
Yeah, thanks
so
for
much.
coming.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for playing back there. You'll notice I'm not thanking that weirdo with the Michael Myers mask.
Oh, where'd he go?
I'm not.
Okay, we'll find him later.
I understand. I was kind of amusing. It creeped me right out. All right, folks. Thanks for watching so much. We'll see you later.